5 easy daily habits that got me to 12% body fat quickly. I've gone from 30% body fat to 12% body fat over the past couple of months. And through my journey, I've adopted a few habits that have made me to not only lose the weight, but also keep the weight off and stay lean year round. If you're someone that's trying to lose weight or you've lost weight already and you managed to gain the weight back, in this video, I'm going to teach you 5 simple daily habits that you can adopt that's going to help you to lose fat and maintain a good physique permanently. Number 1, weigh yourself every morning. As human beings, we get encouraged to push towards our goals when we see progress. So what this is going to do for you is it's going to give you a form of accountability. So when you weigh yourself every morning, you know when you're doing the right thing and when you're doing the wrong thing. For instance, if you go through a day where you have a bad diet, where you're eating loads of junk food and loads of processed food and things you're not supposed to be eating, when you wake up in the morning and you weigh yourself and you see that you've gained some weight, what that's going to do is it's going to prevent you from going back to those habits that made you to gain some weight. If you eat clean throughout a day, you train properly, you do your cardio properly, and you're seeing the scale go down, you're seeing the numbers in the scale go down, it's going to encourage you to keep doing the things that you're doing to get the positive results. Also, it's a way of tracking your progress, because when you're losing fat, you don't really see the changes happen in your body on a day-to-day basis. It's a slow process. It happens gradually. Plus, when you're used to seeing yourself in the mirror, you can't really see the changes because you're used to seeing yourself. That's why when most people gain weight, you don't really see it because you're used to seeing yourself. It's other people that will be able to tell you when you're losing weight or when you're gaining weight. So, because you can't see the changes in the mirror yourself, when you look at the scale and the number is going down or going up, then you're gonna know if you're making progress or you're not making progress. So the scale is a good way of keeping track of your progress. Personally, when I started doing this, the first thing I'll do in the morning is I'll weigh myself, because that's when you get your most accurate weight, because you don't have any food inside you or any water inside you. So you know actually what you weigh first thing in the morning. That's your correct weight. So when I started doing that and seeing progress, I would get encouraged to keep going at my goal. And when I have a cheat meal that I'm not supposed to have, or I go on a splurge of eating things that I'm not supposed to be eating, the scale goes up. And when I see that the next morning, I quickly correct my eating habits, because as human beings, when we work hard towards something, we don't want to jeopardize it, because you know how hard you've worked. So because I'd worked so hard to get to a certain point, I wouldn't want to jeopardize it with eating things I'm not supposed to be eating junk food, eating overly processed food, and all that sort of stuff, because the scale will tell me when I'm doing something wrong. So subconsciously, I would always look forward to doing the right things so I could see the number in the scale go down. I've got a quick story for you guys. So when I started doing this, when I started weighing myself every morning, and I saw that the scale would go down, then I started doing intermittent fasting, and I saw that the scale was going down even faster. The part of my brain, I don't know, maybe it's just a personality disorder. When I see progress, I want to speed in the progress. So what I did was, from eating just 2 meals a day because of my intermittent fasting, I went down to eating 1 meal a day. And then from eating 1 meal a day, I would go days where I wouldn't even eat, just so I could see the scale go down. But I quickly realized that that's not the way to go. You need nutrients for your body to function properly and for you to be able to drop the weight properly. So I corrected myself. But I say this to say that although I took it to the extreme, it's a clear example of how this method could make you want to push yourself further towards your goals, make you do the right thing, make you work out properly, make you do your cardio properly, so you can see the results daily. Obviously, don't go psycho with it and start to pursue extreme measures to get to your goal like I did. Your body still needs nutrients to be able to function properly. And I know this, that's why I corrected myself after my few days of craziness. But there is no doubt that weighing myself on the scale every morning, as soon as I woke up, definitely contributed to motivating me to pursue my goal, to do everything right to get to my dream physique. So I would recommend, if you're trying to lose weight or you want to stay lean year round, weighing yourself on the scale every morning is a habit that would definitely keep you on track and stop you from ruining your progress. Number 2, I learned the secret to controlling hunger and cravings. And I'm going to tell you guys the secret. So I did this with protein, food, and water. So what I did basically is anytime I have a craving for snacks, I would eat protein. I would eat meats, drumsticks, chicken, anything. Anytime I have a craving for sweets or candy, I would eat fruits. So what I did was I would buy loads of chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs. It doesn't have to be chicken breast, as long as it's chicken, as long as it's protein. It doesn't have to be the leanest part of the protein. It's still better than junk food. It's still better than cakes or crisps or processed snacks. So I'd buy loads of drumsticks, buy loads of chicken thighs, buy loads of chicken wings, and I would just cook them and put it in a container and put it in the fridge. And I'll buy loads of fruit as well. So anytime I felt hungry in the middle of the day, when I've already had my meal, you know, sometimes you have your meal and you still feel like you want to eat something, or you're watching a movie and you want to snack on something. What I'd do is I'd snack on the chicken, or I'd snack on steak bites. Steak bites is just basically steak that's cut up into little cubes. So I bought that and I would just snack on them anytime I feel like having a snack at home. I got rid of all the cakes, I got rid of all the crisps, I got rid of all the biscuits, all the cookies, all the snacks that I know had high calories, and I just replaced everything with meat. What I do is I'll dedicate one day in the week to just make all the meat and just store them in the fridge. Buy an airtight container and just store them in the fridge. And when I want to have a snack, I'll just eat drumsticks, I'll just eat steak bites, I'll just eat chicken, I'll just eat chicken thighs. And when I'm in the mood for having something sweet, I'll just eat fruits. So I'll get loads of apples, loads of bananas, loads of watermelon, and I'll just eat that anytime I have a sweet craving. It's a much better way to snack and keep your belly full when you want to have an extra snack outside of your meal. Your body uses extra energy to digest protein. So just eating loads of protein alone keeps your body in a fat burning state. So you're satisfying your snack craving and you're stimulating your body to be in a fat burning state. Also, protein keeps you full compared to other types of food like carbs and sugars. When you eat protein, it gives you that full feeling very quickly. So you won't have to eat too much to feel full when you're eating protein. And then fruits help with the sweet tooth. So when you want to have candy, when you want to have sweet snacks, what you gotta do is eat apples. It's still sweet and it's got way less calories than any of these snacks would have. So you can eat as much as you can. You can never have too many apples. Some people say it will spike your insulin levels, but it would never do as much damage as the candy bars would. You can eat as much apples as you can. You can eat as much watermelons as you want. You can eat as much bananas as you want. You're not gonna get too many calories from that. So these are ways you can keep yourself remaining in a caloric deficit and still enjoy snacks outside of your meal every now and then. And then the third tool or secret that I use to keep my hunger at bay is water, like I mentioned earlier. So when I started my weight loss journey, I increased the amount of water that I drink. I basically drink water every time. Anywhere you see me, I've got a bottle of water in my hand. I'm constantly drinking water, and this helps tremendously because it would help to keep your hunger at bay. Sometimes you get a feeling and you think you're hungry, but truly you're just thirsty. So when you're constantly drinking water, it would keep you full and stop you from eating unnecessarily. So ever since I started drinking more water, I realized my appetite had gone down a lot. My food cravings had gone down a lot. I would just basically drink as much water as I could drink the whole day, and I wouldn't eat as much because my stomach will be full from all the water that I'm drinking. Another thing water does is it helps to get rid of water weight in your body. It gets rid of bloating, and that makes you look lean. So when you consume a lot of water, your body gets rid of the water weight. When you're dehydrated, your body holds onto water weight because it's in a state of survival. So when you're not getting in enough water, your body wants to keep as much water as it can. So the best way to stop your face from looking puffy, your belly from looking puffy, is to drink as much water as you can. So not only would water help to keep your appetite in check, it would also help to get rid of bloating. So this is basically how I learned the secret to control my hunger and my cravings. I still do this till today, and this method of eating has helped me to stay in shape year round. Number 3, being on my feet more often. So guys, I'm somebody that likes to chill out when I can. I'm somebody that likes to take a breather when I can. I like to have a seat and relax when I've got a break from whatever it is I'm doing that's making me stand up. But ever since I changed that and I intentionally got on my feet, even when I felt like sitting down, it's helped me to drop the weight very, very quickly. What this does is it makes you to take more steps. Most people know taking more steps will help you lose weight. So what I started doing was when I felt like sitting down, I just stand up. So when I'm working, if there's a way that I could stand up and do the work, I would stand up. When I'm playing video games, instead of sitting down and relaxing and playing the video games, I would stand up and play the video games. When I'm in the house, walking around the house and just on my phone, instead of sitting down and maybe scrolling, I would just get on my feet, and it's helped me to take more steps, because most of the time when you stand up, you're not just gonna stand in one place. You're gonna pace around, or you're gonna, even if you're moving side to side, those little steps count into increasing your daily step count. It's not always gonna feel like the right thing to do to just stand up when you want to sit down. Like I said earlier, I'm someone that likes to chill out and sit down when I can. I know a lot of people are like that, especially adults, especially if you're 25 and above. You don't have the energy that you used to have to just be moving around and standing around and being unnecessarily active. So what we do is, as soon as we find the opportunity to take a seat, we just sit down. I used to be like that. Also, I'm a big guy, so it's gonna be a bit overwhelming for other people if I'm just on my feet most of the time or just pacing around most of the time. But ever since I changed this habit of just sitting down when I can to standing up when I can, it's speeding up my weight loss process very, very quickly, because like I said, what this does, it increases your step count. So by default, if you adopt this habit, you'll be taking more steps during the day. Also, you burn more energy when you're standing up than you do when you're sitting down. So even if you're not pacing around when you're standing up, even if you're just standing and just doing your work, or standing on your phone in the house or wherever you are, wherever you get the opportunity to stand, you will burn a lot more fat than you would do just sitting down. So it will put you into more of a calorie deficit by default, because you're burning more calories. So my advice to anyone who wants to stay in shape or speeding up their weight loss process is to adopt this habit, which is just getting on your feet when you can. You can do that in your house. Nobody's gonna hassle you for standing in your house. You can do that even in your office if you're allowed. You can set up your desk to be a bit higher so you can stand up and do your work. Maybe take a seat every now and then, but most of the time be on your feet. When you get into the train, for the people that use public transport, don't just rush to find the seats to sit down. Let people have the seats and stand. It's gonna be beneficial to getting you to your dream physique and keeping you in your dream physique. So stand as often as you can. It's gonna keep you lean. Number 4, I started training for strength. So recently, about 6 months before now, I changed the way I train in the gym. So I switched from trying to build muscle to trying to build strength. And this helped speeding up my weight loss journey in several ways. And I'm going to tell you how. So it helped me to build more muscle, and it helped me to have more time effective training sessions, which helped me to have a more sustainable training program. I'll explain what I mean by this. So firstly, like I said, it helped me to build more muscle. So what I realized is when I started going to the gym and training for strength to increase my strength, that indirectly helped me to build more muscle, because by building strength, what I was doing was I was building muscle, because what muscle basically is stored energy, stored strength. So I started pushing myself a lot further in the gym, especially with compound exercises. So I was doing more deadlifts, I was doing more bench presses, I was doing more squats, and I was trying to lift as much weight as I could in these exercises. And when I started doing that, I noticed that I built a lot more muscle. My physique transformed drastically when I started training for strength, because, like I said, muscle is basically stored strength. I like to use this analogy where I say your muscle is your employee, and when you give it work to do, it would be pushed to grow and be more capable of doing the work that you give it to. When you give it more work to do, it would evolve itself to be able to manage the work that you're giving to it. But when you don't give it enough work, and by work in this case, I mean heavyweight, pushing yourself. When you don't give it enough work, it wouldn't grow because it doesn't see the need to. So when you just go to the gym and just do workouts that you're comfortable with doing. I notice when people want to train to build muscle, they don't usually push themselves with heavy weight. They usually want to do more reps than they do more weight, because it's widely believed that the more reps you do, the more muscle you could build. But I noticed that that is not necessarily true, especially if you're natural. If you train and lift heavy in the gym, that would shock your muscle enough to want to grow, so it can handle the weight. And as you progressively overload, your muscle keeps growing. So when I started training like this in the gym, I started building more muscle. And what happens when you build more muscle? You're able to burn fat more. The more muscle you have, the more fat you can burn, even at a resting state when you're not doing anything. If you've got more muscle, you're going to be burning more fat. So it's going to be beneficial to you to grow more muscle if you're trying to lose weight and if you're trying to keep the weight off. So I would advise that you focus on lifting heavy in the gym, safely of course. You don't want to do crazy weights that you know you can't handle. Increase the weight gradually and go for weights that you know is not going to be easy for you to lift. That way you can push yourself to grow more muscle. And I always advise to focus on compound exercises, because what this does is it helps you to build a number of muscle groups at the same time. For instance, a squat. You're building your entire legs just from one exercise. You're building your core as well. You're building even some parts of your upper body just by doing squats. Your bench press, it builds your chest primarily, but it also builds a lot of other muscles. It builds your shoulders, your core, your triceps, your traps, even your lats. If you bench heavy enough, you would have to engage your lats for you to get the weight up. So most compound exercises are full body exercises. And when you stick to this style of training, what it does is it helps you to be able to get a good workout in the gym and not spend too much time in the gym. Remember, I mentioned earlier that this style of training gives you a more sustainable workout plan. What I mean by that is, if you train this way, you will not have to be in the gym so long. At most, you'll be done with your workout after an hour. And when you don't have to be in the gym so long, you wouldn't have to skip the gym every now and then. What happens with people that spend a lot of time in the gym is, on some days when their schedule doesn't allow for you to have 2 hours to spare or 3 hours to spare, as some people do, to spare and be in the gym, you just skip the gym because you don't have enough time. People that spend 2-3 hours in the gym, they usually have that time of the day free so that they can go and do that in the gym. But things happen. Life happens sometimes. Your plans could change. You might not always have 2-3 hours to go to the gym and have the kind of workout that most people have. And when situations like this happen, where your normal routine is disrupted by something that came up, where you don't have 2-3 hours to go and spend in the gym, what happens is you're going to skip the gym for that day. And the next day, something might come up again. And because you don't have 2 hours at least to be in the gym, you're going to skip the gym for that day again. And that just accumulates into multiple days of you skipping the gym, and your progress is affected by that. But when you have a straightforward and effective workout program, it's going to be easier for you to just hop in the gym and do what you need to do and hop out quickly, because you don't need to spend a lot of time in the gym. So it's going to be easier for you to fit your workout routine into the day. I don't spend more than 50 minutes in the gym, because I go in the gym, I lift heavy, I focus on compound exercises, and I'm able to stimulate muscle growth in a short period of time. It's even 50 minutes for me because I do 20 minutes cardio. If I didn't do cardio, I'd probably be spending 30 minutes at most in the gym. And because of this, the days that I skip the gym have reduced drastically. I basically never even skip the gym because I'm just in and out of there. So when you go to the gym, what I want you to do is go straight for the heavy weight and lift as heavy as you can. Obviously, you still need to do some warming up, but you don't need to do the kind of warming up that most people do, which is spending 3-4 sets just working your way up to your top set. And then you go and do that with the next exercise and just waste a lot of time in the gym. You still need to warm up. Don't just go straight into heavyweight because you might injure yourself. But you don't need to spend too much time warming up. 2 sets should be enough to warm up to get to your top set, and your top sets should be as heavy as you can go. And focus on compound exercises. This way, you could train multiple muscle groups at the same time. So you're building as much muscle as you can because you're pushing yourself with heavy weight, and this would indirectly help you to burn more fat, and you have a time-effective workout routine. This would help with your longevity in the gym. So you don't go days that you need to skip the gym because you need 2-3 hours to be in the gym, which would slow down your progress. So follow this method of training because it would help you to burn fat and stay in shape for as long as possible. And the fifth habit is prioritizing recovery. What most people do when they want to lose weight or lose fat is they want to do as much as they can do. They want to be as active as they can be. That would help you, but only if you do it in the right way. So the bad way in which you can do this is to go to the gym to train more days than you should be training, or do unnecessary HIIT cardio. You're running every day, you're sprinting every day, you're doing jump rope every day, you're doing burpees every day. It's gonna burn you out. I advise people to prioritize recovery. I used to go to the gym 6-7 days a week, and I wasn't in as good shape as I am now, because although I was training more and doing more HIIT cardio, I wasn't going about it the right way. So I started training 4 days a week recently, and that is because I want to prioritize rest. I want to give my body time to recover. When you're overtraining, going to the gym 7-6 days a week, your body doesn't have enough time to grow muscle and burn fat. So you want to have rest days as well. You don't have to be in the gym 6-7 days a week. That's not sustainable. You don't build muscle whilst you're training in the gym. You build muscle when you're resting. Also, you don't want to do unnecessary HIIT cardio. I notice a lot of people, when they want to lose weight, they go overboard with HIIT cardio. They do sprinting, burpees, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying don't do those things, but don't do them too often because it's going to exhaust you, and that's going to stop you from pursuing your goals long term, because when you're exhausted, then you're going to be forced to take a break or lay back a little. And usually when people take a break from the gym, they take a break from their diet as well, and just take a break from fitness in general. So I advise people to do zone 2 cardio. Zone 2 cardio is steady state cardio. Steady state cardio is the kind of cardio that you do at a steady state. So walking on the treadmill on an incline at a steady state, or riding a cycle at a steady state. When you're doing this type of cardio, you could do other things as well. You can have a conversation with someone or read a book. You're sweating when you're doing this kind of cardio. It's not going to be entirely easy, but it's not going to be so difficult to the point where you can't even speak. When you're getting to the point when you can't even speak, then you're going past zone 2 cardio and you're going into another realm. So I advise people, instead of doing HIIT cardio most of the week, do steady state cardio most of the week. So you want to do steady state cardio at least 4 days a week, 30 minutes of steady state cardio at least 4 days a week. And maybe you could do HIIT cardio once or twice a week. That way you're able to go for a longer period of time and not burn out yourself. Same thing applies to lifting weights. You don't want to be in the gym lifting weights every day. You don't want to be in the gym lifting weights 6 days a week. You're going to be burnt out. You might even get injured. And when you get injured, then you're not able to keep up with your fitness goals. And that's just going to slow down your progress. So in as much as you want to get to your results quickly, you don't want to overdo things. Do the work that's required, but give your body time to recover as well. You also want to sleep at least 7 hours a day. Think of your body as a machine or vehicle. Whenever you're sleeping, that's when the vehicle is refueled. And it takes at least 7 hours to get the machine to be completely full and ready to go for the next day. So when you don't let the machine get as much as it can get in the refill process, what's going to happen is the machine is going to deteriorate over time because you're not giving it what it needs to function. Same happens to your body. So if you don't get enough sleep, your body is not going to be fully recovered to function the next day. Your body is also not going to produce all the hormones that are necessary to burn fat and build muscle. So you're just going to be operating at a deficit of nutrients, a deficit of energy. And over time, that's going to deteriorate your body and you're not going to be able to perform as well as you can perform in the gym. You're not going to be able to do your cardio effectively. You're not going to be able to be on your feet or take as much steps as you should be taking to lose weight during the day. So you're just going to do less. And when you do less, that slows down your progress. You might even fall sick because you're not resting enough, and that will slow down your progress. So you want to prioritize sleep. That is the one time during the day that your body does most of its repairing. So you don't want to deny your body of that privilege, because that will get your body to operate at its best and give you the best results. I usually tell people to plan for their sleep. You don't want to be eating at least 3 hours before your bedtime. You don't want to be drinking water at least 2 hours before your bedtime. You don't want to expose your eyes to blue light rays at least 1 hour before your bedtime. When you eat too close to your bedtime, your body's going to be digesting food whilst you're sleeping, and that's going to interfere with your sleep. When you drink water close to your bedtime, you're going to wake up to go and pee, and that's going to interfere with your sleep. When you have blue light rays exposed to your eyes close to your bedtime, that's going to keep your body awake, because what these blue light rays that come from your phone or the laptop or the TV do to your body is they make your body want to wake up. The same thing that the sun does. So when you expose your eyes to these blue light rays, your body's going to be awake and you're not going to fall asleep on time to be able to get at least 7 hours of sleep. So do all you can to prep your body to have a good night's rest. Prioritize recovery and prioritize sleep. This will help you to burn fat and stay in good shape. So these are 5 easy daily habits that helped me to get to 12% body fat and is helping me to stay lean year round. Being in shape is a benefit to everyone. I think everyone would look better when they're in shape. You'll feel better when you're in shape. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're gonna feel a lot better when you lose unnecessary body fat. So adopt these habits and they will help you to get to your dream physique. Don't forget to like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can ask me for advice in the comment section. I'm always available to answer. Share the video, subscribe to get updates on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.